What's up with the squad? Back with another video. Y'all seeing that's how it was going down. Make sure at the like with the subscribe button. Y'all see it. JD Vance about to go off again, y'all.
Thank you so much for joining us. What's your reaction to what you heard from your counterpart and
Vice President JD Vance, my fault.
The Democrats this evening in Chicago?
We got to get used to that. I do.
Well, I think it's an interesting contrast, Jake, between what President Trump and I are offering, which is very simple. We are advancing policies that are going to lower the cost of housing, lower the cost of food, secure the southern border, and raise wages for the middle class. And Kamala Harris really can't run on accomplishing that because her policies have, in fact, caused a lot of the problems and a lot of the suffering that we see in our country. So what you see from the Democrats is instead this argument that if you want to vote for Donald Trump because you want to change the direction of this country, you're somehow a bad person. And I really think that that dark message really doesn't gel at all with the idea that somehow the Democrats are the joyful party. There's a lot of attacks on Donald Trump, a lot of criticisms of what he's done and what he's said, not a whole lot of positive vision for how Kamala Harris is going to fix the problems that plague the country.
There's also been some criticisms of you. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg this evening spoke tonight. He took aim at one of your past comments from 2021, that Americans that don't have children...
Man, listen, all they can do is bring up the past. They can't do their campaign and the way that they're doing things are so smooth, so strong, and so fire that they cannot do anything but go into the past. They did this, they did that. Man, check out Kamala's past. Check it out. Everything. Y'all focus on that. Focus on that because right now stuff ain't running smooth for it. It ain't fire. None of that. None of that. But then they try to make Trump and JD Vance look like the bad guy. Come on, y'all. They campaign is running so fire. They rallies, everything. Then you want to have people get up there in the DNC talking about, oh yeah, he has, what did they say? What did Obama say? He said something yesterday that threw me all the way off. They worried about crowd sizes. They say stuff about the rallies and this, that, and the other. Man, listen, bro. It literally just goes to show y'all. It's the jealousy. It's literally the jealousy. Anytime you bring up what Kamala has done, what Biden has done, anything like that, anything, it can be something positive. They still gotta say Trump name.
Have, quote, no physical commitment to the future of this country, unquote. I want you to take a listen and get your reaction.
You know, Senator, when I deployed to Afghanistan, I didn't have kids then. Many of the men and women who went outside the wire with me didn't have kids either. But let me tell you, our commitment to the future of this country was pretty damn physical.
What's your response?
Well, my response, Jake, is that Pete Buttigieg has taken a sarcastic remark that I made 3 years ago and turned it into something to distract from the fact that his leadership has seen higher transportation costs, higher fuel costs, and higher food prices for American citizens all over our country. These guys act so focused on a sarcastic quip that I made that they ignore the fact that under Kamala Harris's leadership, Americans can't afford the basic necessities of a good life in this country. And so I appreciate that Pete Buttigieg pretends to be offended by what I said. I think Pete should be offended by the fact that under his leadership as Secretary of Transportation, the government took in $8 billion to build 7 electric vehicle charging facilities at a time when Americans are paying 45% more for the gas that transports them to work. That's what we should be focused on, and that's what we should be talking about. And it illustrates, Jake, my entire criticism of the Democratic approach here is they're focused on fake issues instead of the real record. And the real record is that Kamala Harris has made this country poorer. Donald Trump made the middle class richer, and he caused a lot of peace and prosperity to break out in this country and all over the world. It's a very simple contrast, and I wish the Democrats would focus on the issues.
There was another comment about you I wanted to get a reaction to. This evening we heard.
So that's right there just goes to show y'all. First of all, JD, absolutely amazing speaker. I told y'all about a month or two ago, I think it was like a couple months ago, that I haven't heard him speak. I haven't heard him, talk. But as I've been getting to know him more and different things and reading different articles and seeing stories about JD Vance, this man speaks very well. This man didn't at one time acknowledge anything he said. He too focused on what he said in the past. That's all they care about. They try to make JD Vance and Trump and that administration look like horrible people. Even Trump supporters look like horrible people, like they do every day to me. I just told y'all, they all in my DMs talking crazy, saying this, saying that. And, man, I'm telling y'all, from me seeing the administration, Trump, JD Vance, Trump supporters, y'all are amazing people. Know that. Don't let nobody ever discredit
January 6,
that.
2021, we saw a video of police officers getting assaulted. Take a listen to what Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin said the other night about you.
And by the way, JD Vance, do you understand why there was a sudden job opening for running mate on the GOP ticket? They tried to kill your predecessor.
Do you have any reservations at all taking the ticket, taking the opportunity to serve as a vice presidential nominee, given what happened to Vice President Pence on January 6th?
No, not at all, Jake. And look, I can't help but laugh at what Jamie Raskin said. These are people who somehow always make themselves the victims. Jamie Raskin should be much more worried about the fact that there are a lot of Americans that can't afford to buy groceries, that can't afford to put their children in a nice home because of the policies that he has implemented and he has voted for. I just don't understand a person in American politics in 2024 who's whining about what happened to them instead of using their leadership and using their influence to make the lives of American citizens better.
And he is, I'm telling y'all, he's right. He's right. Everybody that walks up on that stage, they talk about their past lives. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody gets up. Instead of talking about things that they see, things that's going on that they can fix, they don't do nothing but running back of their childhood. Where I came from this, I came from that. Bro, you're rich. You're a millionaire. You got money. Get other people to that standpoint. Try to lift up other people. Y'all supposed to be that. Y'all freedom, got the song playing, got the commercials. Man, it's all a trip, y'all. I'm telling y'all.
I have no reservations about taking this job because I know that if we make Donald J. Trump president of the United States, he's going to deliver rising wages, lower prices, and a secure border. That is all worth it for me, whatever the media or Jamie Raskin says about me.
I want to play some of what Governor Walz said during his speech, his acceptance speech earlier tonight, and get your reaction.
It's an agenda.
Keeps on saying, get your reaction. They want a horrible reaction from JD Vance. That man is calm and he knows what to say.
That serves nobody except the richest and the most extreme amongst us. And it's an agenda that does nothing for our neighbors in need. Is it weird? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's also wrong, and it's dangerous.
Your reaction to that?
Well, when Donald Trump was president, Jake, you had people buying homes at record rates. You had young Americans who were able to afford to raise a family. You had people could afford the basic trappings of middle-class life in this country. And so when Tim Walz says that Donald Trump's agenda doesn't work for middle-class Americans, he already was president for 4 years, and his agenda worked very well for middle-class Americans. Again, I just wish, I would love for Tim Walz or Kamala Harris or anybody else to say that during the 3.5 years that Kamala Harris was vice president, here is the thing that she did to make groceries more affordable. Here is the thing that she did to make it possible to raise a family in this country. Or here's the thing that she did to secure rather than open up the border. Because they can't talk about Kamala Harris's record, they're creating a phantom of Donald Trump's leadership. The Donald Trump that I know and that the American people know, I think, produced really good results for the American people. It's a record to be proud of and a record I'd like to get back to, frankly, because it was good for the American people.
Talk to him.
Both you and President Trump have suggested that there's something wrong or illegitimate about the way that Kamala Harris replaced Joe Biden on the Democratic ticket. Now that the Democratic convention is here, do you accept Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, as the legal and legitimate presidential nominee of the Democratic Party?
Well, first of all, Jake, she's certainly the legitimate nominee of the Democratic Party. We're going to debate her, and we're going to try to beat her in November. But I do think it's a little bizarre how the Democrats went about this. We have to remember that for 3.5 years, Kamala Harris and a lot of Democrats said that Joe Biden was totally fit for the job. That
Right.
was revealed to be a lie. And then when it became obvious that Joe Biden was political dead weight, they replaced him without casting a single Democrat primary vote. That doesn't make it illegal, but it certainly makes it a little bizarre. And if I was a Joe Biden voter, I'd be pretty frustrated at the way
Y'all heard? Y'all, he was about to say it. He had to watch his
if I
words.
was a Joe Biden voter, I'd be pretty frustrated at the way that this unfolded.
Before you go, quickly, if you could, CNN's reporting that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is expected to suspend his presidential campaign on Friday. It's been reported that he's considering endorsing Donald Trump, especially if he gets made Secretary of Health and Human Services or such. Have the two men been talking? Do you expect an endorsement? How much might it help?
Scared. I'm telling y'all. They're scared. They know when that happened. And I know everybody like Reckless, you know, even though we might listen, having them would be straight amazing. They know that it's over with. You got it. I mean, you got to know that. You got to know that. Not having them, it's still over with. That's how I look at it. We know the outcome come November.
You know, so I don't talk to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jake. I certainly listen to what he says, and I do think that he is a guy who recognizes that the Kennedy Democrats of old have been replaced by the Kamala Harris Democrats who support high inflation and open borders. So I'm not surprised that he feels left behind by the Democratic Party. I think a lot of Democrats, a lot of people like my grandparents feel left behind by the Democratic Party. I would certainly welcome his endorsement of Donald Trump. I've seen the same reports you mentioned. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but I certainly hope it does, because I do think it would be helpful, because it drives home this idea that the Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy, it's just not the Democratic Party of 2024. Let's get back to common sense. And unfortunately, the only American leader running on common sense right now at a national level is Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Talk to him. Smooth.
Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, thanks so much. Safe travels, sir.
I know that man hot right now. He about to go cry. He about to go cry in the back room. It's over with. Make sure you hit the like with that subscribe button. Definitely apologize, uploading late. So I definitely apologize for that. Like I said in the last video, today wasn't, it wasn't, I don't even feel like, telling the story what happened, but y'all see it in the last video. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.